Welcome to our terminology class. Sorry for the slight delay. We tend to have a couple of things on this particular broadcast with the Spanish translation. That's not too easy. As you all know, we do translate into other languages. And in fact, there's just about as many people that speak Spanish that are listening to all of our lessons as there are English. It's rather remarkable what's happening in Mexico, South America, Spain, with regard to Kabbalah. And by the way, I want to congratulate each and every one of you, all of the Spanish students. Heck of a job. Let's go ahead and go back through some things. We did do Kabbalah, Ken? Yes? No? I have it in red. Okay, we do. Okay. Let's start out with the organization name. It is pronounced B'nai Baruch. B'nai Baruch. It's actually, the first word is pretty easy. In Hebrewish, we call this Hebrewish because it is written in English letters, but it's sounded out It's actually sounded out in Hebrew. It's a Hebrew word that's written in English. B'nai Baruch. What does it mean? Baruch was the first name of Baruch Ashlag, the son of Baal Salam. And the namesake of this organization. He was a great Kabbalist that reached final personal correction, along with his father. And the organization is named after his first name, Baruch. Baruch Shalom Halevi Ashlag. Is that correct? Is that all the names? There might be one more in there. Yeah. The first word, though, is actually a combination word, and Hebrew has words that actually is one word that will actually be used as kind of a construct form word, where it will actually make two words, or you smash two words together to make one word. B'nai actually means sons, plural. Sons of. It's possessive plural. B'nai Baruch means sons of Baruch. Sons of Baruch. Now, you will find, and you probably already have found out, I'm sure Tony has mentioned it on Wednesdays, that on Sundays you're more than welcome to join us at, right now until the time change, it starts noon. It starts at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and goes until 2, the Yeshivat Havarim. Yeshivat Havarim. And that word in Hebrewish Yeshivat Havarim. What is this meeting? First of all, this is a plural word. Havarim. The actually comes from a word that's called haver. Haver. What is a haver? Haver is a friend. A friend. The plural one is friends. And yeshivat is another one of those construct kind of words. It means a gathering or a meeting of friends. A gathering or a meeting of friends. And it's obviously a very important time because we have people from all over the world gathering for the Yeshivat Havarims. Literally thousands of them, all together, all at one time. It's on broadcast live to you, and it's directly from Israel. All of the friends are gathered there, We have friends from every continent, literally every single continent, that come together, and there's all sorts of things going on. I'm going to leave it a bit of a surprise about what it's really like, but it's very important. Again, that starts at 1 o'clock Central Eastern Time, 12 noon on Central Time, 12 noon Central Time. But this meeting of friends is very, very important. It's where we come together from all over the world in a virtual connection and connect together with regard to the goal, going over what we're doing, why. Very, very special time together. Good word. Shalom. You hear this a lot. Another part of Baruch's name. Rav Ashlag's name. Shalom. 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 You hear this a lot if you have ever been to Israel. You walk in someplace, people say, Shalom. And we think, well, obviously, and by the way, when you leave, the same thing, Shalom. And we think, oh, this must mean hello. In fact, it might mean hello and goodbye, or somehow, or whatever. In truth, Shalom, it means peace. Peace. And it most certainly is used as a greeting. Yes, it is. We have congresses in Israel for those students that will end up be going over there. There'll be one in February. It's a very, very special event. There'll be about 3,000 people there. We have people from all over the world come. A lot from the United States. And if you happen to be in that Congress, you'll notice that this is not only a Kabbalistic word, which it most certainly is, but it's also very commonly used over there everywhere. Couple of others. This one, Kavanah. You'll hear this used a lot as well. If you are coming to the St. Louis Congress, you'll hear these words used there. What in the world is something called Kavanah? Kavanah. Kavanah is the Hebrew word for intention or aim. A lot of people confuse it and think that an intention is the same as a desire. And we talk about the Masach. And we talk about it, how it is the desire to do what the Creator does, the desire to actually be able to make an act at which I receive no self-benefit. Can we turn down the air a little bit, please? Now, the desire to is not the intention part. What is kavanah really? Kavanah is the aim to who benefits. There can be intentions to receive something for myself. There can be intentions in order to receive for the Creator. For instance, if I've given this example in some of the classes, that if I have an intention that I want my father pleased on his birthday, and my intention is to give him something that will please him. And he says, the only thing that you can possibly do is accept $1,000 from me. Check right now, $1,000 today. Now, I don't realize it at first, and it's hard for me to see this one at first, but if my only intention, most of us would say, wait, it's your birthday. This is when you get the gift, not me. What we don't realize is that is precisely the gift that he wants. He wants to be given something. He wants to be given the sensation that he receives when you accept $1,000. the pleasure, when you enjoy it, when you enjoy that $1,000. So for you to take that and use it and enjoy it is actually giving to him. In other words, my sensation toward my father would be that I don't care what is required. Whatever he would have said would have been fine. If that's what he wants, great. I'm only concerned about what is it that will please him. That's all. It doesn't have to match some standard in me the way it should be. And it shouldn't be what I think he should get. It's what he feels like will bring him pleasure. So my concern is only his pleasure. If it takes me giving him $1,000, that's fine. If it takes me receiving $1,000 from him, that's fine, because frankly, they're both the same thing to me. Identical. I don't care which one. They're both the same thing because it's bringing him pleasure. So this is a very important word in Kabbalah. What does it mean? What does the word kavanah mean? Intention. What is an intention? It is the aim to who is to benefit. Who is to benefit? Now this is a corporeal example and it's inaccurate. So let's get that right up front, okay? A true act of bestowal is one to where I have no self-benefit in it. If I see my father's happy, I'm going to have self-benefit. So there's more to it than what we're saying here. We'll go over that later. In truth, true intention is in spirituality. It's called a masach. And what do I do with it? Sense spirituality and the Creator. Let's go to another word. Not ready for that. I believe we did Ein Sof. We did Ein Sof. But they have written here, and it is in the book. I admit that, so we'll do it. Olam Ein Sof. What does it mean? It means the world of infinity. The world without end. Our world? No. This one has an end. It does not mean anything with regard to corporeality. It is only a spiritual world. As we know, every spiritual world is a world of concealment, to some extent. Olam Ein Sof. The word olam means world. And you can think of infinity. Actually, it means no end or no ending. End's better. Oh, God forbid my Hebrew teacher's watching tonight again. I will hear about it tomorrow. Very important word. Obviously, we've been through this. What Ein Sof is, we drew it when we drew the world of the four phases of direct light, and then the world of Tzimtzum, the world of Ein Sof, and from it the direct result is the world of Adam Kadmon, which has the Galgalta, Ab, Sagma, and Ban that you've all already seen. We'll be going over that in about 40 minutes or so, somewhere around in there. Another word. Let's draw a line so we can get a few more words on here. You see this a lot in the books and tikkun. Tikkun. What in the world is tikkun? It actually means correction. Correction. It means, and you can see how things kind of how they kind of match up. If we look at the verb, correcting, he's correcting his son or something like that, it's pronounced metaken. Metaken. Tikkun is correction, and in fact, there's a light of correction, right? We talked about that a little bit. We'll talk about it a lot more. You'll get that. We'll be entering that situation a whole bunch in just a couple of weeks. And I just saw a note, and I made a promise to someone, and I'm going to fulfill that right now. I promised Deborah last week about that I would give something on Lishma. Actually, she wants for Lo Lishma, but I can't do one without the other, Deborah, so I hope that you will understand. It's Lo Lishma and Lishma. And what these words mean. Actually, you have it wrong in your little diagram here, Deborah. I'm sure it was just an error. You say Lo Lishma is for her name. Lo. This word right here, Lo, it means no or not. This word Lishma means for, her, and sometimes his name. So we have Lo Lishma and Lishma. So Lo Lishma is not for her name. Lishma means for her name. Now, Deborah's not just wanting the word. I know what she's wanting. She's wanting the Kabbalistic meaning to this. I don't blame her. It's a very important concept. And we've already talked about it just a little bit tonight. Is the benefit for me, or is the benefit for someone else? Now, let's not talk about the benefit toward the Creator at the moment, because the Creator's in concealment, Deborah, and it's like, what Creator? So what do we have here? We have a circumstance. Let's go back to our Father that we want to please. If the goal here is not me, not that I want to give my Father a gift, but the only thing that is important is my Father's pleasure. It isn't that I want this or I want that. It's that I have an intention for my Father to receive pleasure. What does that mean? It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter what. This gives you an idea about Lishma, where I don't care if I have to take $1,000 from him, if I have to give him $1,000. Either way, it's all the same to me. I'm prepared for whatever. Why? Because whatever pleases him. This is the only thing that matters. This is my full intention. And by the way, if I want to carry it on further, what do I want out of it? Nothing. In fact, maybe it's best if I don't even know that I did it. Then there's no way I can get something out of it. My whole goal is not to get anything out of it, to make an act in which I receive no self-benefit. In truth, that's not going to happen corporeally. But that's all right. For now, you get an idea of what the word Lishma means and what Lo Lishma means. What's the other way? Oh, yes, I want my Father pleased. I'll be happy if my Father is pleased. I'll dive on the hand grenade and save all the kids because I feel like that's what's most important. That's what will please me. I will build orphanages for the entire world. I'll do something good. But in Lishma, now let's go take it to Kabbalah. Let's take it in context to the Creator. So what is my goal here? My goal is to not have my business concerning the pleasure the Creator gives to me. My job, my work is not relative to what He's giving me, to the gift. My work is relative to the Creator. To the Creator. Now, this is where it gets sticky. It's where it gets a little bit confusing. It's where we have a hard time even imagining. Most people think, oh, I can bestow in this world. No problem. I can do that. Now you can see how hard this thing really is. I have a will to receive pleasure. And it can be dressed in numerous different ways. It can be for food. It can be for drinks. It can be for a nice home. It can be for whatever. Family. A man, a woman, relationships. It can be for money. It can be for honor. It can be for a lot of different things. And here's the point. I have an intention to please the Creator. But the Creator is only happy if I'm enjoying. I have to be enjoying. But the only way I know to enjoy is for me to feel pleasure. How can I possibly feel pleasure and not receive self-benefit? This seems like a contradiction here. If I feel pleasure, there's built-in self-benefit in the deal. What's wrong with this picture? It's a real problem, isn't it? How can you have one and have the other? What will possibly cause me to be able to do that like that? If I can. Let's just say there was a way. Let's say that I could feel pleasure in my desires, not get any benefit out of it, because in truth I was doing it totally because it would make the Creator happy. Let's just say there was a way I could do that. That's called Lishma. Total concern for the Creator. Receiving pleasure only in order to please the Creator. In other words, what do we do here 24/7, Deborah? What we do here constantly, all the time, is chase pleasure. Giver, forget the giver. I don't need a stupid giver. I'll go to the grocery store, I'll buy me a Snickers. I got me a party. Pleasure party. I'll go to a ball game. I'll go whatever. It doesn't matter. I'll go with my friends. I'll scratch my nose. I'll take a drink of tea. I'll cross my fingers. You see, it's everything. You don't make a single move without it being for the potential of the pleasure you'll receive. Even if it means adjusting in the slightest manner, because in the next moment you'll be more comfortable, is your sensation if you move a little. Or as simple as blinking. Every single solitary calculation, Deborah, is for one thing and one thing only. My own self-benefit. No matter what it is. If I dive on the hand grenade for the kids because I think that's right, I have a desire to be right. And it's greater than my desire for me to keep living, or I wouldn't jump on the hand grenade. I have a desire for what I sense is correct and good. It's all will to receive. It's no different than if I threw the hand grenade in the middle of the kids because I wanted to see them blow up. I think there's a difference. I say, and by the way, I know I'll get something on the forum tomorrow about this. They'll say, there's a difference. You're killing kids. We're talking about the action is the same. It's the will to receive, period. From a spiritual perspective, it's all will to receive. Here is there a difference? Massive. What's the difference? I'm going to be on the jury that convicts him and puts him in jail for the rest of his life. Why? This is corporeality. We live by our standards here. That would be wrong. If he gets that much. He may never make it there, killing kids. But the truth of the matter is, with regard to the will to receive, with regard to what one has to do, it's no different in diving on the hand grenades. Why? Both acts are purely will to receive based. Both you can't even call lolishma. There's no other choice in them. Now here's the hard part. In corporeality, it doesn't even exist. There's nothing here. There aren't two options. You can't have an act as small as scratching my nose, or diving on the hand grenade as big as diving on the hand grenade, or stealing, or Adolf Hitler doing his thing. You can't have an act here that's not from the will to receive. That's what the qualities are here. 100%. Lishma, and by definition, we feel a desire, we do something. That's it. Immediately. Why? To see if we can get the pleasure from it. Or, at the very least, we calculate on it, which is what the corporeal mind does. Go to the forum, you'll see huge examples of this. People dying to be right. Dying to show they know what they're talking about. Dying to win an argument. We have that constantly now. What's the problem? Yeah. People want to be right. They aren't interested in learning Kabbalah. It's the will to receive. What are you trying to accomplish? Is my business with the Creator or with the will to receive? Every time, no matter what I do. It's always with the will to receive. So when I enter in to this correction process, when I begin to study, when I begin to feel this desire to do something that the Creator does, I want it egoistically, Deborah. I want to do what the Creator does, to bestow. You bet. Why? It'd be cool. For one thing, I get to inner spirituality. What does that mean? Maybe I get to see little angels or something. Maybe I hear holy courses. Maybe I sense my own eternity. I can think of a dozen wonderful reasons that this just might be great. In other words, now I've got the right goal to attain the qualities of the Creator. No problem. You bet. Give them to me. That's what I want. And I want it egoistically. I want it for my own self-benefit. Lishma in spirituality is when I finally come to the point when it isn't that I want to attain the qualities of the Creator in order for me to have some higher status, for me to be like the Creator. I want to attain the qualities of the Creator because it's holy. Because it's what's right. It's what's good. How do I discover that? I have to sense the Creator. I have to sense the difference between His qualities and mine and say, whoop, now I understand why. Until then, I do everything egoistically, and I don't have a choice. There isn't anything I can do here. Everyone's the same here from a spiritual perspective. Everybody. Everybody. Hope that's enough answer for you, Deborah. I certainly did want to give you your money's worth since you had to wait a week on it. I've had a couple of questions with regard to Kabbalistic things. Guys, remember, this first lesson until 6:30, actually we'll quit in about 10 minutes, but it is a terminology lesson. And we will be looking at some of your questions here, but not in this class, in the next class. Let's see what Lisa has to ask here. In the stage of Ab, the light again strikes the Masach. Yes, it does. Then it is restricted further, and only part of it is received into the Toch. Yes. Does this mean the light of one of the phases will be missing, or does it mean that the light of all phases, but less of each, will be received? Also, in the terminology class, could you explain the word Gagalta Ab Sagma Ban? Well, first of all, in the first part of your answer, the answer is yes and no. I know you'd like that one. Why? Because you're right. There is in Gagalta, in the Toch, there is Keter, Chokmah, Bina, Zerem, and Malchut, Kilim. There are lights. Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Haya, and Yechida, the highest light. But there's also in each Kilim, there's 10 Sefirot there too, which means actually 5 Sefirot in each one. Keter, Chokmah, Bina, Zerem, and Malchut. In other words, we have Keter of Keter, we have Chokmah of Keter, we have Bina of Keter. You understand what I'm saying? Then we have Keter of Chokmah, Chokmah of Chokmah, and Bina of Chokmah. Guess what? They each have Nefesh of Nefesh, Nefesh of Ruach, Ruach of Nefesh, Neshama of Nefesh, Haya of Nefesh. So, in a way, you've got all 5 lights in all parts, in a way. But in truth, you are correct in thinking that the highest light in Ab, overall, if you just consider Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Haya, and Yechida, all those 5, then yes, in Ab, what did you lose? You lost the top one. And you have Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Haya, and that's all. So there's a quick one for you. Gagalta. Let's at least do Gagalta tonight. Gagalta actually means skull. Actually means skull. Ab won't be an easy one for you because Ab is not a Hebrew word actually. Kind of an acronym. It actually comes from a calculation of something called gematria. And it has to do with the lights that enter into the Partsuf and in the way that they enter into the Partsuf. It's actually the Partsuf filled with the light of Chokhmah. That's not going to help you any. Sag is the same way as is Ma and Ban, but it has to do with gematria. Gagalta, though, it means skull. Fabricio from Argentina. Fabrizio? Amen. It's scaring me here because I don't want to mispronounce Fabricio's name. From Argentina. In parts of Gagalta, here we go again. In parts of Gagalta, the level of pleasure and the level of the desire is 4-4. The Partsuf has to take in less light and accepts less light. You're correct. Why then in Partsuf Ab, the level of pleasure is also 4-3? And why in Partsuf Sag, the level of pleasure is 3-2? It's actually level, remember you got both of them there. That isn't just pleasure. That's the level of pleasure and the level of desire. Okay, so we want to make sure that we know that it's both. And I will explain this in the technical lesson because it doesn't fit in the terminology lesson. Please remind me of that question, okay? Just to look at it, I'll keep it on my instant message here. Let's go to another. word. Ah. I don't want to do that one yet. Here's a good one. I bet we could have gotten one more word on there since we're almost out of time. It's a very good one. And that is, in connection with tikkun that we have up there, Gemar tikkun. Gemar tikkun. This one's kind of important. This actually comes from the word, I think it's gomer. Hope it's gomer. What it means is, it means final. Gorem? Could be gorem. I'll have to check on this one. Final. It means final correction. Gemar is final. What's final about it? What does final correction mean? Final correction. What am I really correcting? I'm actually correcting my part of me that's in you. So when I've corrected my part of me that's in everybody, I've reached final correction. All 7 billion? Yep. That's right. All 7 billion. Does it all happen at one time? No, it doesn't. It comes in stages. This is a very interesting thing. Tony has a very, very good piece on it. See if I can't find it for you. But is it possible? Oh, yes, definitely. Why? Because you aren't dealing in people, folks. You're dealing in levels of desire. You're dealing in desire, will to receive. Remember that we're talking about spirituality here, and that's a very, very important concept. Correction is everything. Literally everything. It's the entire reason that one is here is to do what? To correct the manner in which they receive. To correct the manner in which they receive. Because that's all you do here. Next week, we'll be going over a little bit more Gagalta, Ab, Sagma, and Ban. I'll give you a little bit of where those names come from. We'll go over Olam, Adam Kadman, Atzilut, Bria, Yetzirah, and Asiyah. We'll go over the lights. I will do that right now. 2 main lights we've already talked about. We've done it a lot since we've already done this. Besides or Yashar, or Hoser, or Panimi, or Makif, I'm sure you all have memorized those by now. There's also or Hokmah, or Hokmah. Hokmah means the word wisdom. Wisdom. Very important word. But don't be thinking of it in corporeal terms. Or Hokmah means the light of Hokmah. The other side is another kind of light called Hasadim. 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 Or Hasadim. What is this light? It is called the light of mercy. Hasadim would mean mercy. So, please, do remember these. They're very important words. Why is it merciful? Why is this light merciful? You should ask yourself this question. Why in the world is Or Hasadim merciful? Or Hokmah is considered the pleasure. Or Hasadim is considered mercy and merciful. What's so blessed and merciful about Or Hasadim? We are at 6:15. We will be coming back in exactly 15 minutes. We will be resuming the full-fledged class. This is when we will be answering Fabrico's question. 45 minutes. I beg your pardon. 45 minutes. We'll be coming back. We'll be coming back in 45 minutes after they've had a chance to do the technical things we need to do here, and then we will get going. And until then, we have another question here from Radha. What is the difference between Adam Harishon and Adam Kadmon? From a purely terminology lesson, I will tell you that Radha, Adam Harishon, is man in a created state. Adam Kadmon is a man in kind of a blueprint state. In a blueprint state. Primordial, you can think of. Like the blueprint that you would have for your house before you build it. Yes? We'll see you all back here in 45 minutes. Bye-bye.